At least Nico's got a shorter commute now. He's a California kid back at UCLA.
Yeah, that is.
So you were gonna make me mad. You had an argument.
I wasn't gonna make you mad. What I was gonna say is, what if at this point, right? Because I know you're pissed that he's intimating it's about the offense.
Yeah.
Like he can't just be telling the truth that, hey, I think I could function in this offense. I got no, you don't have me. I got
you got sincerity.
Yeah. And I think this is gonna be good for me. What if he learned his lesson going through this process? What if it's the embarrassment of how it played out publicly, and now he kind of just wants to dial in? He's close to home, so let's go play ball.
So that could be true now. That's not how this started. That's my issue.
But we don't know what he really thought. We heard from everybody else about everybody else.
Nico really thought, but the situation with his representatives is pretty well documented because you have other coaches who have sort of not gone on the record, but have spoken to reporters about this anonymously that, hey, this guy and his representatives were out there looking for more money from anyone that would take their phone call. Whether it's Oregon, who said no. Whether it's Georgia, who said no. Whether it's UCLA and USC back in December, who said no. This dude has been fishing, or his representatives have been fishing for more money for months.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I'm supposed to believe, like, yes, maybe within the process and after getting cut ties with Tennessee, maybe now he's embarrassed and he's like, okay, now I want to try and find the right fit. Maybe that's how he landed at UCLA specifically. That's not why he's gone from Tennessee.
Okay.
No, so those can be two different things.
Right. I'm with you. Number one, is this Rico doing the graphic at the bottom?
Yes.
This is sensational. Like, this is really good.
Yeah, no, he's doing a great job.
And this is really good. And you know my favorite thing about this?
What's that?
You can actually read how to pronounce this young man's name so you can stop flipping butchering it.
Iamaleava? Iamaleava. Is that better?
Sure. Shout out to my man Rico. Anyway, you're such a pound of flesh guy. What difference what do you're not? You're not a pound of flesh guy.
I want people to tell the damn truth. I'm tired. No, I'm not. Listen, I am tired of people lying all the damn time for no reason. Because you know what? They can get away with it, and we let them get away with it. You want to call it a pound of flesh? That's fine. I'm taking my pound of flesh from everybody. Just tell the damn truth. Okay? Because as long as we let them get away with it, they're going to keep up with this BS, whether it's Nico or whether it's Rick Pitino or whether it's whoever else lying to us or Nico Harrison for no reason. Until we say, hey, we don't buy your BS anymore, they're going to keep doing it, and we're going to enable the activity that they're lying about in the first place, right? I'm over it. I'm done with people lying about everything. Knock it off. Listen, if you benched R.J. Lewis, own it. Hey, he wasn't playing very good, so I benched him.
No, you can't go back to that because he told you he was defending R.J. That's your own personal pettiness about him wanting to roll the guy. You don't get to do that.
I don't want him to roll the guy. I want him to tell the truth. Or
he did.
Or don't answer the question.
He did tell the truth. You know why he didn't play. I'm not rolling my guys. Why do you not like that? I'm not going to rehash that, but that's petty.
No, it's not petty. Just tell the truth. Tell the truth or don't say anything. Because every time we allow people to just keep lying to us, then we enable the activity they're lying about. And it gives them carte blanche to just keep lying.
Nico can't be at UCLA because he wants to function in this offense?
That's fine on where he landed at UCLA. That's not why he left Tennessee.
What if he didn't want to leave? What if Heupel was like, look, bro, beat it. All right? I'm tired of handling this with your dad.
How did we get here? How did we get here?
It doesn't have to be him, though. I'm the king of the how did we get here. I get what you're saying, but you're not.
Still hasn't talked. It's still his dad talking.
He's 20, right? So maybe he's in protection mode. Maybe he's in damage control.
He wasn't in protection mode when he was shopping him all over the country?
Okay, listen to what I'm telling you. You're confusing the two. Not senior. I'm talking about the young man. I'm talking about Nico. What if Nico is like, man, what if he's doing what you wanted him to do 3 days ago when I said it would be hard, depending on the relationship you have with your father?
So let me just make sure I understand you correctly. you're advocating for that. For the first time it appears in this situation, Nico is exercising autonomy.
Yes.
And that would be great. That'd be terrific.
Yeah. So
I would love that.
That's not even that far-fetched.
It seems far-fetched based on everything we've seen lead up to this point.
Because listen, it's like going through an ugly divorce. Sometimes you're so embarrassed, you got to get right.
Okay. And he's eating it now?
Yeah, he could just be eating it. He's like, you know what? I'm kind of over this. Like, I just want to play ball. What if like, that's not far-fetched?
No, that's fine, but we still haven't heard him talk. So we're attributing, like, I'm just saying we're attributing something to him that we don't know.
Okay.
I mean, that's how it seems to me.
I don't understand what it is about your personality that is so defiant when it comes to, if somebody doesn't say something that you want to hear, it's wrong. Like,
no, when somebody lies to me, it's wrong.
You don't know that, though.
I know this.
You don't know that.
Here's what I know. That in Josh Heupel's offense is going back a decade. The worst numbers
doesn't matter, Ravi.
Belong to Nico.
No, it doesn't matter.
Why doesn't that matter?
Because it doesn't.
Because it's not a Heupel problem. That's my point.
No, like if we were in the court of law, they would say objection, relevance. What he wants to do, especially if you give that example, he could just want better at UCLA. Maybe that's the springboard. Maybe it's like, you know what? This whole shopping thing, this started. I couldn't really function the way that I wanted to in this offense, given the bad stats that this guy in Omaha, Nebraska, Ravi Lulla, just quoted me as playing. Statistically, I'm kind of an outlier. I haven't been able to get it done in Knoxville. I want to go to Westwood. Like, what if that's the case?
Then why wasn't that the case?
You've only had 36 hours to digest it, and he hasn't taken the goddamn podium.
Why wasn't that the case in the winter portal?
Because he's making $2.4 million, and you kind of want to ride this out. And maybe at the beginning of spring, it wasn't going the way he wanted it to. So dad and representative said, man, Nico's kind of being pushed. These guys are kind of over this back and forth of getting this offense under control. Maybe Heupel had some real speaks with him. I'm going to see what the open market can bear. Wait a minute. I'm going to float this. Shoot. It got back to Tennessee. Bad news beat me home. We got to get while the getting's good. The stories start flying. You haven't heard anybody really say one tangible thing other than Josh Heupel and some folks in the Knoxville media. We haven't heard from Nico. Mm-hmm. So Nico may be saying, man, I just want a fresh start. I just want a ball. My career is rapidly dissipating. I want to get to Westwood so I can play some ball and put all this nonsense behind me. I'll take the pay cut. I'm back home. I'm comfortable. Well, how do we know this isn't Dawson Garcia?
So your argument is, I'm just trying to make sure I understand. Your argument is,
it's a really good one.
It's a pretty piece of cheesy argument, but that's fine.
No, because you want to be this staunch moralist that stands on this soapbox like it can't just be what it is. It doesn't always have to be some great conspiracy theory.
It's not a conspiracy. Mine is actually much more plausible.
It's not, because you've only heard from a handler and his goddamn dad. You haven't heard. And the funny thing is if this was 2 days ago, you'd be standing up cheering like some goddamn fanboy that he's standing on his own 2 feet as a young man that's like, you know what? Enough's enough, Dad. Like, I'm gonna take matters in my own hands.
I don't think he's taking anything in his own hands. I think this is his dad too.
Because you don't want to believe him.
No, because that's what it's been this entire time. It's been his dad and his handler the entire time. So now you want me to believe all of a sudden it's him. The argument that you're making is, hey, I was a little miserable last year, but for $2.4 million, I can be miserable.
Where's UCLA's announcement? What, like, are we going to wait to hear from them before we do? I mean, we do all these accusations?
Don't think he's going to UCLA, or what announcement are you waiting for?
So it would be cool, like if I heard from the school on the arrival and how this came about, right? You know, Foster may come out and say, if in fact he does enroll, he'd say, hey, you know what? We got a guy that we're going to welcome to our locker room. We've talked to this young man. He just wants to play ball. He wants to be closer to home. He's a lot more comfortable. Like, what if that's the case? Would you feel better?
What UCLA has to say about it really doesn't affect how I think about it at all.
Because you want your mind made up. Why would you want to handicap yourself with the facts?
If I'm Deshaun,
the more information you have, the better you can make an informed decision.
Not always. Sometimes information is not relevant. Like if you don't you don't like the stats.
No
I
less,
think it's
no,
relevant.
no less relevant than he hasn't functioned at a high level compared to other Tennessee quarterbacks.
If I'm Deshaun Watson or Deshaun Foster, nobody wants to be Deshaun Watson. If I'm Deshaun Foster,
depends on what stage.
Maybe like 6 years ago, maybe.
Yeah.
If I'm Deshaun Foster,
and some people like massages.
I don't think that's what he was paying for. Anyway, if I'm Deshaun
semantics,
if I'm Deshaun Foster and I go, he seems like a good fit for Robert Kraft and the Patriots.
That's tough.
If I'm Deshaun Foster, I understand why UCLA does it from the sense of, hey, we had a really talented, what we view as a really talented quarterback come on the market and become available to us. So we did our due diligence and we brought him on board. Like that doesn't give me any new information. He's better. I would assume he's better than everybody they have in the quarterback room. If they think they can weather whatever locker room issues there might be, that's kind of a no-brainer. Like if they've got the money to do whatever they need to do, whatever that number is, because we don't know at UCLA. So the UCLA part of the equation isn't that I don't care. It's that I don't think there's much to learn there. Now, if Deshaun Foster wants to really get in the weeds and tell me some stuff about like step-by-step how this process went down, yeah, I'll listen to that.
So it simply can't be that he's closer to home and he just gets to go play quarterback without all the other stuff.
Maybe that's how he ends up at UCLA. That's not how he left Tennessee.
Okay, you're going to have to piece together to me why you care that he can't better a bad situation. We know why he left Tennessee. Why can't – so this whole thing, I feel like this is where I got to reset the goalpost. This whole thing that angered you was like, why can't he just be honest about why he's at UCLA?
No, my whole thing is why can't he be honest about why he left Tennessee? Because what they said was –
we know why.
No, but that's not what they said. They said –
who's they?
Whatever quote came out yesterday, his representative and his dad.
That said what?
That said we didn't leave Tennessee because of the money. We left because of the offense. Okay. And we had concerns about them going to get offensive linemen and then going to get receivers. And like, that's not the truth. That's what bothers me. I get why UCLA makes sense for Nico as a landing spot after we get through that part. After we get through the Tennessee part, I don't have a problem with why or how or what he ends up at UCLA. Being closer to home, wanting a fresh start, all of that makes sense to me. I also think, for what it's worth, if there had been the payday out there that he wanted, he wouldn't be at UCLA to be closer to home and whatever else.
You don't know.
I don't know that. I'm saying that's what I believe. I believe if he was able to get either the 2.4 that he was getting from Tennessee somewhere else or the 4 that he was searching somewhere else.
At some point, you want to play 2 years of college football with some peace.
He wouldn't be at UCLA.
You want to play with some peace.
I would think so. But I also
it doesn't have to be a conspiracy theory just because his handlers and his dad appear to have been.
I'm not going on conspiracy. I'm going on what they've told me.
Turnmongers.
On what the reporting has been. That's not conspiracy. They were out searching for more money, and now they want me to believe that they were leaving because of the offense and because of the recruiting.
Here's the deal. A similar monetary option because you don't like where you are is not uncommon. It's not.
Okay. So
if there's a kernel of truth in the fact that they didn't like what was surrounding him, right? Hey, it's going to be a struggle up front. This guy is running for his life. We don't really like this helter-skelter kind of offense. What else is out there where we can still make a bag?
So here's my question.
What? So no.
That's a fair scenario.
Is that a reach?
No, that's not a reach. But here's my question then. If that's the truth, if that's what happened, then and you want to leave Tennessee for a similar number, why are you going out and trying to exploit Tennessee for $4 million if you want to leave Tennessee?
Because I don't know if we have to believe that.
Okay, so you're saying that you don't believe the $4 million part.
So this is what you want me to believe.
No, this is what's been reported.
No,
so that's
I understand that, and much like you know a lot of things that are said here that aren't real true, right?
Okay.
Now let's say it's like this.
Okay.
So you believe that as bad as the situation was, and it doesn't have anything to do with the offense. You think it's plausible that Tennessee was going to pony up another 1.6 mil to make him happy to stay?
I think
Does that make sense?
Tennessee was never going to do that. I think they could have asked.
But so okay,
I think they asked for the money. I don't think Tennessee was ever going to do it.
but under that guise though, because we've explained the situation
Mhm.
that the offense was this way and it was a little frenetic and he's not very healthy. He's having a hard time. He's running for his life. It's kind of made up. They ended up handing the ball off because they had a really, really good running back. They became run heavy. So because they did these things, let me see if we can ask for more money so he'll stay. That's what you think happened? Because you think that they think his value was increased based on the season that he had a year ago.
I think they had zero self-awareness about the situation.
Okay.
That's what I think.
Okay.
Because it seems to be they were like, hey, this is a 5-star kid, because it wasn't just Tennessee because they were shopping him around other places that also were not interested in whatever number they were floating. That I think they were not self-aware about how Nico was viewed by both Tennessee and the rest of college football.
Okay.
That's what I think to be true.
I can't read X-Gen's travels, but he said this is so bad. Don't make fun of me.
You want me to read it?
Don't make fun of me, X-Gen. Is DB completely discounting the fact Oregon broke this whole thing open by telling? No, I'm not. I'm not. But what I'm telling you is if they're shopping, the reason that they're shopping Nico isn't necessarily, and plus I already admitted that, number one. Let me go back and say this again. If he doesn't like the situation that's going on at Tennessee, for whatever the reason, it doesn't behoove him to ask Tennessee for more money. You would see what he could go get on the open market. Like, I've already said that, but I don't understand the relevance in terms of how that makes the case of what you ordinarily wouldn't do if it was the cost of doing business. You don't know what the cost of doing business is, so you ask. If Oregon broke the story, it's irrelevant to the theory that's pissing you off. It doesn't matter who broke the story. It actually helps my discussion that it wasn't Tennessee. Because why would you go back and ask Tennessee for money when you're not at practice? You're not at practice because apparently the boat's rocked that you don't want to be there.
My understanding was they asked for Tennessee before he missed practice.
So here's the
deal. That's my understanding of the timeline.
Tennessee caught wind of the fact that he was shopping his services well before he missed practice. I don't know what the timeline is, but it wasn't the day before or the day after.
I mean, it started in December.
Yeah, maybe they were just fed up with his BS.
Fair.
Okay. Yeah. So people do that all the time. They do it all the time. So if there's egg on the face, and this is played out publicly without Nico being able to say one thing, and remember, you're the same guy that 2 days ago said, you intimated that he should just cut ties with his dad and do his own thing.
Here's my question, though.
Did you stop?
No, I did. I said that.
Okay.
But why can't Nico say anything?
See that?
No, you said he can't.
You're back on the goddamn Patino thing.
No, but you
why,
said.
Why can't Rick just say this? Why can't?
No, you just said.
Sometimes people are going to communicate or not communicate in a way that you don't like.
That's fine.
And it doesn't mean they have some nefarious motive.
You just said Nico can't say anything. Why can't he?
Because he really hasn't had time to say, hey, I'd like to call a press conference and explain. Maybe he's a lot like me, where he would just say, you know what? I'm going to go to work at this age. I'm not going to continue to rock the boat. I don't want to make this about me. It's gotten to be that way, and I'm uncomfortable. I just want to play ball.
I
know, because you're a skeptic by nature.
I would have a hard time with that. I really would.
He's still only 20.
That's fine.
He's still only 20.
I'm not saying it's out of the
question. So he's not going to be like some eloquent spokesperson. Listen, I'm the same guy, and maybe I'm just the good piece of cheese. I'm a protector, right? I'm the same guy that didn't want Taylor Martinez to talk to the press.
Yeah.
Right? Hey,
because nothing good ever happened.
Stop running him out there. Yeah. He does not want to talk to the press. He's not good at it. We make fun of him every time he takes the podium. Just don't have him do it.
Yeah, there's no need for it.
Because I understand what it's like to be under the goddamn pressure cooker and have to speak to people, and you're not sure how the message is going to be conveyed.
Sure.
So you don't say anything at all.
Yeah.
He's still only 20.
I get that. At some point, though, this thing, and this thing has gotten away from him so badly.
You want the 20-year-old to be. This is myopic. Best
what
case
did I
scenario.
say 2 days ago? I wanted his dad to take the bullet.
Yeah. Does his dad strike you as the type of guy, so far from the reports that you've heard, that's going to stand up there and defend his son?
If he's trying to protect his kid, that was the thing to do. If he was trying to protect his kid, if he was trying to do what was best for Nico after this thing got away from him, that was the thing to do.
Yeah.
And he also doesn't strike me as the guy, because you're right, he doesn't strike me as the guy that's going to take the bullet for his kid. He also, or in this situation at least. I don't know what it's like outside of this. He also doesn't strike me as a guy because of that is not shopping him for the money. Like that's how it comes off to me.
So, okay. So if you do realize that a person in that position that has a market that will bear a certain amount for his talents is going to ask what he's worth on the open market.
This is why I brought the self-awareness thing up, because as far as we can tell, and again, the NIL numbers are so sketchy everywhere that we don't really know. As far as I can tell, Nico was making about as much as anybody as a quarterback. Mm-hmm. His numbers, his performance would not indicate that he should make more than everybody else as a quarterback.
So is that your real issue?
No, my issue is I think there was zero self-awareness in this situation.
Yeah, that'll happen at 20. I hate to break the news to you.
Are we talking about Nico or are we talking about his dad? Because I'm talking about his dad. I'm talking about his handler.
Well, you keep trying to infer, and you're having the luxury or the benefit of talking about both entities. Like you formed an opinion based on how his dad and his handler has handled it, but then we're also coming down on Nico, even though we haven't really heard anything from him yet. But you still want to put the onus on him on why he wants to be at UCLA.
I have no opinion on Nico right now. This is all about his dad and his handler.
Okay.
Because
that changes the tenor of my discussion dramatically.
I have no idea.
So now I get to say, why do you want to hear from him so quickly? And then you can say, you know what, DB, Nico's not who I want to hear from.
No,
I want to hear from. Then say that, and I would have gotten off of it.
Okay,
I would have gotten off of it.
Well, we landed somewhere. Because Nico, this isn't a Nico problem, as far as I know, because he hasn't said anything.
Now that's a total 180 from what I heard 10 minutes ago. You asked me 3 times. Why can't Nico talk?
You brought that he can't talk.
Because I said he may just want to go to work.
Which is fine. But that doesn't mean he can't. It means he's choosing not to.
But you don't want to hear from him anyway. You want to hear from his dad and his handler, right?
If he's broken free from them and he made this decision.
It's not about Nico. You just said it's not about Nico.
The Tennessee part's not about Nico.
Okay.
If the UCLA part's about Nico, then I need to hear from Nico.
All right.
The Tennessee part, his dad and his handler are lying.
I want to make sure we're clear.
As much.
Crystal.